Greetings and salutations, and welcome to There's Only Now, where I'm only here to remind you. Thank you for joining me on my first live, and this is very exciting. Very excited to talk to you all and get to know people and get to know everyone and get to be of service. So, I'm going to probably start this off with something just to set correct energy. I mean, I guess I really want to talk a little too about some of these things that I personally have been noticing and experiencing. And when it comes to this particular community of the mind and a lot of the more current stuff that is transpiring. I'm finding that there's somewhat of a little bit of a disconnect with some of the people that are trying to teach this stuff and share it. It seems to be everybody is regurgitating the same somewhat talking points without elaborating in it with their own flair. I don't expect anybody to come up with a bunch of new information, but it would be nice to see more people sharing it from a more natural perspective of their actual personality and who they really are, opposed to it seems to be this type of way it's presented. And I'm not getting on I love all the people in the community of the awakening that are trying to share and get this message out of the mental healing that can be done. I appreciate every last one of you. I have a couple of personal favorites that aren't the regular ones you hear all the time, like Joe Dispenza. I personally like Locker Jr. I think he has a great channel. I love uh, Be Something Wonderful with Tom. That's another one. He's out here in Vegas. Tom, if you're watching this, man, we should definitely get together. I'd love to have you on sometime and just get a chance to talk to you. Uh, there are some other creators in this space that I find, very useful, very informative. They've helped me a great deal. I've enjoyed their perspective, and it would allow me to grow my own personal perspective. So, but there is this wider range of people out there that are sort of misteaching some of this stuff, and I'd like to clear up some of the misunderstanding that people may be having. The people, and I really want to really focus more on not the generalized normal person perspective, but I would like to talk to the people that are actually suffering tremendously. Maybe you've lost your home. Maybe you're in a situation where you don't have your own place. You're at the whim, or what you believe is the whim of other people and the choices and decisions that they're making. I'm talking about the people that are sitting around that have that in their perspective, when you tell them that all they got to do is believe and go here and do this and do that, that in their perspective, they don't feel they can move from there. They don't see a path. And some of these they're talking very general statements, right? They say, you have a bill or a relationship, but this is very, very different compared to the person that's sitting there who's really about to be evicted out of their home, or the individual that did lose their job and their check isn't enough to cover. And, you know, I want to talk to people that are suffering a little bit more intensely than the person that says has a job but he hates his job, or he has a relationship or he doesn't like it, and the person that doesn't see the things that they need to be grateful for to elevate where they are. But the people that are levels beneath that are really deeply resonating in their truth, right? And I would like to communicate to those people and everyone else. Although I feel like the primary target will be those people that are truly at the bottom. And the reason that I personally feel like I'd like to be there and share and help and be a service in those directions to those type of people as well is because I was there. You know, uh, I was there. I know what a poverty mindset truly means, right? I know what it means uh, to uh, suffer and suffer even in silence, right? And and I do understand that, if you are highly intelligent, you are going to create a very, very complex prison for yourself, because your ability to rationalize, because your ability to explain is why your mental prison is going to be that much more complex and restraining. So, also another thing I like to talk about, and all these things we're going to be addressing and getting deeper into, is the fact that I'm listening and everyone is saying that it's your belief systems. It's this. Yes, it is. But what is their belief system? What does that mean? There's a lot of terminology that is being thrown around without any definition, which leaves us to define it ourselves. And a lot of times we may be misdefining these things and miscategorizing them, and therefore we're not actually addressing it, right? So a belief is merely a set of events and behaviors and experiences that has happened to you that you have stated to yourself, this is real, this is what something is, and it's a set of behaviors that lead to what you call a belief system, or a particular set of thoughts that have an outcome already attached to them. So let that sink in nice and deep so you can understand that. Because that's very important. Because when, and what we're going to show, I want to show you is that these belief systems are all tied to one theme, and that is the self. Right? And when we learn how to release or go to beyond the self to the boundlessness awareness that you truly are, then and only then, when you experience these things, you can perceive them differently. So that's a very, very important, crucial aspect to understand when it comes to your belief system. Right? They are practice, conditions, and experiences that have been reinforced, right, by our exterior environment. That's crucial. Right? Who are you? Do you know? Most of us are just a series of beliefs. Most of us are just a series of stories, beliefs, and events. You're just a belief yourself. You're not the self. You are the one that is aware of the self. Self is just a bunch of experiences, titles, and identities that's been attached to you that you use to identify what you think you are. And this is why we're so obsessed when our lives are going very badly or when we're in a place of unhappiness. We become very obsessed with the suffering of the world and things around us. Why? Because we need those things to explain why we believe what is happening is happening. This is crucial. When you want to when you want to implement the change itself that you want to implement, you must stop talking to others. You must stop trying to convince others that you are what you say you are. Stop looking to others to validate it. They try to tell you that you live in a matrix. And then they tell you that it's a holographic reality. It's an illusion. It's not real. But you don't, there's no tangibility to their definition. So I come to offer you a more tangible definition of what the matrix truly is. Something you can make sense out of. And I think if you ponder this within, it'll have fundamental changes within you. The matrix is stories. That's right. Your world and perception has been defined to you by your definitions of what the world is. The matrix is a story. And one of the oldest and first stories you ever were told was you're going to die. That there is a God outside of you, greater than you, and created you for a purpose. The whole world around you has been a story from when you were little. One of the earliest stories where you heard when you were a child, if you could recall, is don't go outside without that coat on in the winter. You're going to catch a cold. You get sick when you don't bundle up. And then you go outside, and even if you put the coat on, you catch a cold. This is how the mind is working. And when you're young, it's very malleable. And this is why when you were a kid and you had a stick in your hand, in a few minutes, the stick was a gun. If it was you were playing soldiers with your friends, or you had a sister and she's sitting there with the teapots and she's playing house. 15 minutes in, boom, she's the mom. This is house. It's here. It's real in your mind. So you must begin to ask yourself valuable questions. You must begin to question, because this is all a story to explain now. Now is eternal. No matter how much time and space you put between something, you can only experience it now. So, one of the most important things I like to share when it comes to that is you have to, or you must become open to the reality that life already is, and that the contraction and expansion is what is. This is key. Another thing is, you'll hear a lot of people telling you you need to pray, you need to meditate. Let me tell you something. You're only doing all of those things so one day you can realize you didn't have to do it. Half the stuff you have learned in this world, you didn't even consciously learn it. You learn all the time. You do unconscious learning all the time. The brain is designed to learn. You're gonna learn. That's not the the end all to be all for this device. Mm. So it's highly, highly important that you begin to realize that you have to be open, and not closed off to what you think is happening and why you think it's happening. It's not even your thoughts. When you begin to realize the person you're fighting to even be right now, it's not even who you really want to be. You got to learn to ask yourself valuable questions. Why am I doing this? Why, why, what would happen if everybody that ever existed that knew me was gone? Would I still be who I am now? Or in my circumstances defining who I say I am? If it's yes to any of these things, these are things we know must change. Greetings to Evans. What's going on, man? Welcome in. So the question always is how to change. How do I let go of these things? How do I do that? Well, it's actually easy. Letting go can be easy. merely by posing a series of questions to yourself. Because the whole world is being pushed out from you. So, how do we do this? And I was waiting for some more people to come in and to get involved, but I'm gonna just go ahead. We're gonna start off some of this a little early. I'll go ahead. We're gonna go over some of the Sedona method right now and just show you how easy it is to do this. So in this moment, just be what you are and be what you are. And just be what you are. And in this moment, just notice what is. And allow yourself to think of an area in your life where things might not be going. And in this moment, could you just welcome? And how do we welcome? Just take your hands and put it together like say, when I say, did you just welcome it? I just want you to separate. That's what welcome is. It's just letting some. Could you just welcome whatever image, feelings, sensations that come around wherever you feel there might not be much light or resistance? Could you just and in this moment, could you? Could you just let it go? Let it unravel. Let it un. Would you let it go? When? Now let's do that one more time. Let's go back to that area of resistance you might be feeling, or whatever else may come up. Could you just answer from your heart? If it's no, that's accepted too. It's I don't know, maybe. Any response from your heart that is honest already began. But could you just welcome? And in this moment, the best you can. And just for now, could you let it go? Let it go. And more. Would you let it go? When? To that feeling. You might notice it might not feel so thick. Just go back to whatever is remaining. And in this moment, that you just you? Would you let it go? When? Just take a deep breath. Just notice. I'm sure you'll notice you feel a little bit lighter. This method is powerful. And in just moments, you can let go. You may not let go of everything right at once, but think about this. Something you've been holding on for, some of this stuff you probably just jumped on, you've been holding on for more than a year or two. In just a few minutes, it's dissolved. That's the importance of this. See, you can't bring anything to you because everything's already done. So you're not in the world of manifesting right now, there's a lot of language that is wrong. Let's just call it what it is. When they say you attract things to you, when you turn on a radio, okay, you can't see any of the stations on the radio, but you can hear all the music. All you have to do is what? Tune to the channel. When you tune to Hot 97 or 107, whatever, when you tune to that radio station, do you attract the radio station? Or do you align with it? And because you align with it, you are now resonating at the same frequency. So therefore, you can experience what is at that resonant frequency. That's not magnetic. That's not attraction. You're not attracting problems to yourself. You're tuning into problems. You're resonating on the same frequency as the problem. Superposition. You're not walking through the room. There's just a point where in every space and time, you are standing in a point. You're experiencing it through what you call motion. And that motion is what you call life, animation. The same way you look at a cartoon and you see the characters moving and fighting and flying and do whatever else they animate them to do. But those are one shot that has a slight difference. One shot, one shot, one shot. And they take 24 of these shots, and when they move them, you get motion, animation. But when you step outside of that, you begin to see that nothing is actually in motion and everything is already done in its place. There is no such thing as divine timing. Time is a construct of human mind. To make sense out of this, there's no divine timing. All timing is divine. There's a moment when you accept the desire is there, that it is done. And once you accept it is done, you experience it here. That is the key. Stop meditating to try to quiet your mind and start listening to your thoughts. Allow them in. Stop trying to make them stop talking. Because you have to realize you are not your thoughts. You are the one that the thoughts are communicating to. Hmm. This is where it is. This is the real truth. You didn't come here to suffer. You didn't come here to work, figure it out, grow, learn, or anything else like that. All of this is already happening. It's already done. It's already playing itself out. Divinely, perfectly divine to be whatever you think you're experiencing is. It's already done. When you begin to understand that it is already done, then you begin to choose and move through this illusion with experiences that you came here to experience beyond remembering. We have to lose the negative thinking that they've taught you as logic. The world is subjective. We collectively make objective reality. Individually, we are experiencing this subjectively. Then we get together and agree upon a just subjective experience and say, okay, I think we're both experiencing that. And then we say, okay, then that must be objective. But it is by the laws of their own physics. In quantum physics, we learn you're not on the ground. You can't be on the ground because there's no ground that exists. You can't be on a planet because everything's made of atoms and nothing's touching. So what are you on? Your own consciousness that's perceiving a place, that's created all the rules. Your prison is your word, and your word is your key to the prison. Everything in your reality is defined. And even if you are a religious person, it tells you within religion that the definition of the world was gifted to man to get to man was given the right to name all things. The name you give something comes with a definition. The definition of it defines it, gives it a perspective, it gives it a perception. See, and if everything around you is given through your perception, and that perception is given to you through language, and language is creating the boundaries that you're experiencing, what must you change in order to change the boundaries? You must change the language. Now, let's go over a few things that the mind understands about language. First of all, the mind is a literal machine. Doesn't get colloquial metaphors. Doesn't understand puns. Doesn't understand I was just kidding. You know what I mean. It's a literal machine. And most importantly, it doesn't understand no. It doesn't understand couldn't, wouldn't, shouldn't, can't, cannot. Whenever you make declaration statements to yourself and you use the terms no, well, you can just be sure that the mind didn't even understand it. And it removed it from the equation and it said, yes. You cannot program the mind from a place of I want to get in shape. It doesn't understand want. Want to the mind is literal. Wanting is longing. So it will give you longing. It will keep you in a state of wanting. It won't give you what you want because you didn't actually want to have it. You wanted to want it. So you must speak to the mind directly. If it is about losing weight, you must say, I am healthier than ever, that I am the ideal weight that I've always desired to be, that I have a harmonious, loving relationship with my body. I am the perfect weight now. You must speak to yourself this way. When it comes to money, you must not say, I'm going to get this money. I want this money. You must say terms such as large sums of money flows with me easily, quickly, frequently, and effortlessly under grace and perfect ways. This is the language of the mind because the mind only knows now. It doesn't understand the future as the future. When you're sitting there drifting in your mind as the future, the mind is experiencing it as now. It doesn't understand that. And when you begin to communicate with the mind from a now perspective, you will see immediate change. You have to be careful of how you say things. We speak to our own limitation all day long as a joke, not realizing the power is in our words and our language. So when we speak, we must always speak in service to ourselves. Another thing about the mind is that you have to understand the mind is pushing out your reality. You must understand this. When you begin to, this is science here now, guys. The eyes don't see, the ears don't hear. Your eyes don't see an image. Your eyes takes light in and bounces them through cones and rods. And that light gets bounced deeper back into your brain, into cerebrum. And where you then interpret the image, which is completely upside down in the back of your brain. And your brain flips it and turns it into 10,000 different things, and then it makes sense out of it, and then you have an image. So what does that mean? That means what you're looking at in front of you is not even in front of you. It's actually being projected in the back of your brain. So the world out here in front of you is not even really in front of you, technically. You just experience it as that. I like to take pauses in between certain things to give you guys a chance to digest some of the stuff I'm saying, so you can understand and ponder it. Life transforming situations don't occur out in the open; they occur internally. When you ponder something, they call it a moment of clarity. When you have that moment, that's not something you actually express to another person initially. It's an internal knowingness that immediately neurologically reprograms you to a new set of information and that you can act on immediately. That's the power of your language. And here's another thing about the mind. Let's get into these. The law of assumption is powerful. This is the power of the mind. Now, for anybody out there that doesn't know about the power of the mind, your mind is so powerful that it does things immediately and instantaneously, even when it's asked not to. And here's an example. Don't think about a pink elephant. Bam, got you. Everybody did. We don't realize how much control we have over situations because we don't realize we are the one that's perceiving it. You think what's happening in your head is isolated to what's in your head and has no outside effect of what's happening in the outside world. But the outside world is literally being dictated by what you're thinking. The moment you take a second and assume, and I'll give you a test, try it. And please come back one day to the channel and leave a comment and just let me know. By the way, please like, share, and subscribe. Think about it. Try this. If you don't believe it works, just try it. If you have a difficult person that you deal with or some individual that you know you have to deal with, and every time you deal with them, you feel like it's a negative interaction to some degree or another, that's your assumption of them. And I will prove it. And this is how I'll prove it to you. The next time you know you have to deal with them, this is what you're going to do. You're going to assume that they're going to say everything you want to hear, that they're going to agree with you, that they're going to say that your ideal is right. And when you make this assumption, I want you to feel that assumption is true. What would it be like if this person said all the things that you wanted to hear? How would that make you feel? What would you feel like? How would you respond? And once you get that energy and you feel it, I want you to hold on to that assumption. And when you go talk to them, I want you to just act like they're going to say everything you want to say. And then you come back and tell me if they don't. Now, everybody I've done this with has come back and said, oh my God, I can't believe it. They actually agree with me. It went smoother than I think. As soon as they stop doing it, it goes back to the way it was. Because this place is it's not set in stone. It's forever shifting. So the moment you start to realize that your thoughts and your feelings and the way you are feeling neurologically inside and the things you are thinking and imagining and the things that your mind is convinced of, those are the things you literally are going to go and experience. So, what can we do to change our language? What's one of the first steps we can take? How can I change my? I don't know what to say. I don't. I don't know what to do. How can I change it? It's the words. Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. This is how easy it is to change your language, and you will find the words right when you ask yourself this very simple question. Before you say whatever you're going to say, ask yourself this question: is what I'm about to say in service to me, or does it make me a victim? Don't you realize what you're about to say is going to make you a victim? You're not going to say. You don't want to be a victim. Most people do not want to be somebody's victim. People will argue about how they're being mistreated, and then when you say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, you're a victim of that," they'll tell you, "I'm nobody's victim." They don't want to. Nobody wants to be a victim. So this is all you need to do. You just catch yourself because we've been subconsciously programmed to be a victim in our own life. Everything around you, victimhood. So naturally, this is where your mind goes. If you ask yourself these questions, you will immediately pause. You will find puts you in a better position. Another reason a lot of people are not being successful. Hold on, let me see this, Evan. Realizing your word has to be in service to you is eye opening and truly. Yes, yes. Thank you, brother. Yes. It's true though. It's true. We say a lot of things. And if this is the Evan I think it is, this is a person that I personally know and they work with me and they know, you know, we will easily jump onto the bandwagons with other people talking about how bad things are. And we do this in such a way now. You have to realize you have become accustomed to complaining and being negative. And you have so much so that you don't realize it, that it becomes a part of your entertainment. And now you think because you're happy and talking about something that is negative, but because you're joking, that you're not talking about something negative and it doesn't have a negative effect on you. But that's not true. You see what I'm saying? Another thing, and I'm just run here's another thing. And I didn't come on tonight to stay on too long because I want to go live tomorrow with everybody. I want to, I want to get on here and start this process and know that when I wake up in the morning that it's going to be a lot more people here and we're going to get a lot more work, good work done together. And I'm gonna leave you with this last piece. And these is like, I guess Talib's greatest. These are my own philosophies, my own philosophy. This is true. Debunk it, please do. You won't. But this is for you, Evan. If you still with me, man, leave a one in the chat, Evan. If you still with me, man, because I'm about to hit you with something, and you're gonna love this, and I want you to share it. Please, if you're in here, please leave a like. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you, Evan. Hear me out, bro, and then you can respond to this and tell me what you think. But I know I'm right, and this is mine. I didn't get this from Niji. I didn't get this from Joe Dispenza, from Neville Goddard, or anybody else out there. Okay, man. This is my own philosophy from 10,000 hours of standing meditation, from doing deep meditations, from learning hypnosis and neural linguistic programming, doing my own research, having my own calamities in my life. This is my philosophy, and I share it with you, brother. You are always right. And I know what you're going to say to me. Everyone I've told it to has tried to tell me this. That's not true. I've been wrong before. I made mistakes. I ain't perfect. I ain't lived my life great. I done did things wrong. And you know what I say to that, Evan? And to the rest of my people out there, you know what I say to that? Aren't you right about that? Hmm. Yeah, you're always right. You can't even be wrong if you're not right. How many people you know have you told they was wrong and didn't agree and then came back and said, well, okay, I was wrong. But wasn't you wrong when I said you was wrong? No, I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong until I said I was wrong. You ain't wrong until you can't even be wrong if you're not right about being wrong. You always right. So you know what the real question becomes, Evan? And the rest of my people out there? What do you want to be right about? Hmm. It reminds me of that Scarface line. Even when I lie, I tell the truth. That's facts, bro. Thanks for the wisdom. No doubt. My thank you, brother. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. But that's the truth. You always right. So the question becomes, What do you want to be right about? You want to be right that it's hard. You want to be right that people mistreat you. You want to be right that you can't get the perfect relationship because you're right. You're right about you don't have the money you want. You're right about the government. You're right about everything else. You're right. You always right. Remember that. It's not about if you right. You right. The question is what you want to be right about. I want to be right about this channel exploding overnight and growing, and us having thousands and thousands of subscribers and followers and joining the community and sharing everything. And if you ever need a session with me, please, guys, join. There's, hit my Cash App up, or if you want to donate to the cause. Also, I have the life coaching going on right now where I'm helping with the Sedona and various other methods of neural linguistic programming, and basically just assisting people and getting some of their dreams. And I get downloads personally. So everybody I talk to, anybody I talk to, is very personal because I get the stream from my connection using the silver method. And then I'm able to tap into exactly what I, what you really need to hear. Because I can't teach you anything. I can only remind you. And once you get reminded, neurons are meant. Neuroplasticity activates. New neurons are found. New houses are filled. Old programs are dissolved. New programs are put into place. And then life is experienced differently. So please reach out to me if there's anything I can do to assist you in that change. But guys, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. Thank you. I'm gonna be back tomorrow around 4 o'clock p.m. Uh, Western time. Excuse me. And we're gonna get even deeper. And it's gonna. And we're gonna go tomorrow. I want to take the time. I'm gonna go over some of these practices again. I want to go over the silver method with people. I want to go over some of these things. And then I want to help some people out too in the chat. If you got some questions, you want to talk about a few things. If you want to talk about some of the stuff that's going on in these communities, how can we get to a better place? We don't have to worry about rooting anybody out, or the people that are not authentic about what they're doing, they have a purpose. And once they've served their purpose, they will move on. So, but to those out here that are doing this on another level and that really want to grow our communities and really want to be of assistance to humanity, let's get together. Let's find ways to start programs. I personally am looking to start programs to go out to these boys and girls clubs across America in urban neighborhoods and help these underprivileged youth, show them the power of the mind, teach them hypnosis, use neurolinguistic programming, and so in the silver method to show them the power of their mind, to create their reality in a short amount of time and make life-changing changes for them that their parents can notice and see, and hopefully get their parents involved in it. There's something we want to do. We want to help the youth. We want to bring this to and eventually get this into the gangs and get this into an intervention. And because I believe if we can get down and talk to these gang members, if we can talk to these underprivileged youth, and we can start talking to people and showing them the power of their mind and showing them that there's a different way and just opening them up to the possibility of a different way, we'll make great changes here. And that's a part of my bigger goal in all of this. But as of right now, I want to grow the community. I want us to be together, and I want to see. I want to meet so many of you that actually have gone and changed your life doing these things, and us to be an inspiration to more and more people. So that's what I'm looking to do here. Please like, share, and subscribe. Our name is Talib. This is There's Only Now, and I'll catch you on the next one.